Hello everyone, Eternal Flame here to do a ranking of domain expansions because ranking domains is a lot of fun. Let's have a lot of fun with this. And I'm not here alone today. Say hey.
What's good, guys? CA Domain, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yep. So let's get straight into this list because, yeah. So we're not going to be fully doing this domain ranking based on the actual characters themselves, but more so the effects of the domains itself. So some characters will actually likely be lower than what a lot of you people are expecting. So I'm going to get into my number 5 right off the bat, which is Higuruma's domain. And Higuruma has a really busted domain, which Higuruma's domain allows him to basically put you and your opponent inside of a lawsuit-like area, and if you fail to win the courtroom, you cannot use your curse energy or curse technique at all. If not, you might get the death penalty as well, which is an instant kill weapon. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, this is one of those things. I remember when Killing Games first started, it was kind of in the middle of Killing Games, and seeing like that, seeing that, you know, I'm blanking, but seeing that domain expansion and whatnot, it was tough because it was kind of seeing like up until now we've always seen all these domain expansions of being like fighting based, right? Like Gojo, Jogo, all that stuff, but his domain expansion, it was like, oh, we're gonna get like domain expansions that are like, you know, not necessarily just based on fighting and stuff. And obviously, we haven't gotten much of that. But I do like the idea of it, where it's like, it's not all about hands and stuff like that. I don't know if you curse on your channel, but yeah, it's not all about hands. It's just like, it's a very unique way for him to fight, and we even like they even use that to like talk about Yuji and stuff. But yeah, I think this is definitely a good spot for it. You don't want to. Yeah, I mean, it's actually funny. Yeah, what you said?
Like, to add on to that, Higuruma's domain is just, you outright can't fight in that domain whatsoever. There's not much you can really do other than winning the lawsuit case. And, like, imagine if it was on someone smarter than Higuruma, who Higuruma is already pretty smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we do separate
so, like,
lists.
yeah, like,
so what's your number 5?
Yeah, it's funny. Our list is not that separate because Higuruma is actually my 5th as well. Yeah. I was debating between him and another person. Actually, I'm not terrible with his name. Not Naoya? Naoya. You gotta clip that big old on my head for that. Nah. Yep. But Naoya, I actually forgot about it. Like the whole thing about, you know, having the 24 frames per second. Like you basically have to fight in a terrible edited like YouTube animated video kind of thing. That's how you have to fight when you are gonna take OC damage. So that's cool. It's like, you know, I think that if we're talking about just in terms of like the most dangerous domain expansion, like you said, where it's like, forget the characters that are attached to it, just the domain expansion. Like, it's got to be. Imagine if you're facing like L from Death Note, and he has a domain expansion. Like, you're gonna get cooked. Like, you might even be innocent, and you still might get cooked. So, and it's like there's no fighting. Like, Goku's getting smacked by that shit. So you got, I think, like you got to give it at 5th place for me. That's how I have it.
The entire meme of can you beat Goku though? The answer is yes. You can't indeed.
Like send a nigga to the lawyer room, bro, or the jury.
Exactly. He's gonna admit to the amount of plants he destroyed in his battles against Frieza and other people.
That's funny. Yeah. Goku's an idiot, so he'll probably admit to he didn't do. Like it's nasty work.
Did you put all of the universes at stake for a tournament of power? Yes, I did that.
Yes, I did. Yeah, Goku's done. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I did. Yeah,
and like that,
and you lose your abilities. Like, come on, bro. It's easy 5.
Yeah. And now we're gonna move on to number 4, which I'm gonna let you start out with.
Okay, I bet. So number 4, shout out, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Luck himself. So it's Akari. I have him at 4. So obviously, I'm not gonna lie, this fight, I always tell people this all the time. The Hikari Kashima fight was a little confusing to me, just about the explanations. But from what I gathered, bro, it's like if he's able to hit his jackpot, he has basically unlimited curse energy. And it's like you think about that, you're him. Like, I think it's, is it for what, 3 minutes or something? It's like for a really short amount of time.
It's like 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Like, it's however long a song is, but it's still pretty long.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Don't let these joints tell you otherwise. It's a long amount of time, right? But it's just like, it's OC because, I mean, we know curse energy is basically what makes the world go round. But if you're like for instance, if you're, let's say Sukuna or something, right? Well, a person who has like crazy control of your curse energy and you have an infinite amount, you're basically, the whole thing was he was for those 3 minutes and 44 seconds, he was what? Bro was unkillable. Like, he couldn't touch him.
RCT automatic. And to make it even better, with this domain, as soon as it's done and the round is done for jackpot, he can reactivate it right on the spot and just keep spamming it.
Yeah, so like He's him, like Hikari. But what's your 4 though? What's your 4?
My 4 is actually different, which is a character we've already talked about, Naoya. Because Naoya's domain is bullshit, to put it lightly. Because
no cap.
with Naoya's domain, right? If your cells move in a different pattern than Naoya, you get damaged heavily and bleed. Like, this is shown with Daido and Mayo, and the only reason that they were even able to survive was because Maki is immune to domains. If it wasn't for that, they would have lost that fight. Like, I don't think many people are beating Naoya's domain because it's just that busted with that sure hit effect on it.
Yeah. I didn't even, it's, and that, again, that's a crazy fight. I mean, seeing, like, shout out Maki, Maki Toji, that she got that dog in her. But yeah, it was actually crazy because he is, domain, that's a crazy OC domain expansion. And, like, again, you gotta think of it this way, like, if you give Gojo that domain expansion, he's like murking everyone. Like, you gotta think of it like that.
Yep.
Like, you're giving the, like, just inherently how crazy the domain expansion is. Like, it's gotta be top 3 or top 4.
100%.
So yeah,
like, it belongs pretty high on this list. I think even for you, it will be an honorable mention for you because, like, your number 5 was Higuruma's, right?
Yeah, literally. Like, I was like last second, it was literally like buzzer beater. It was between that. Like, those are 5, and I think Hikari, I can understand if you don't have Hikari there, but it's just like I think those bottom 3 are like those are really interchangeable for me.
100%. Like, they're interchangeable for me too. I just think Naoya's domain is like more useful in some circumstances, but I can see the argument for Hikari and Higuruma's being better than Naoya's because of just as circumstances they'd also be useful for.
Yeah. So we have that. Yeah, you can. Well, I guess I can go into 3.
I'll go.
Or
I'm gonna go into my number 3. Which this one's going to be controversial, other than the fact people need to remember we're only talking about the domains itself. Which my number 3 is Sukuna's domain. Oh boy, I can already feel the hate coming.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh yeah, cook.
So, the reason I'm saying Sukuna's domain is number 3 is, it's because of the rules that we have set for this entire tier list and how it works. We're not judging it based on the people themselves, we're judging it on the domain effects, right? So with these rules in mind, we're basically implying other characters have things like barrierless domain, like, since that's just something most people can do, they're just not skilled enough to, so we're applying that to all other domains. And Sukuna's domain is just a slashing effect. Sure, it's like a slashing effect that will adjust to your power level with time, but it's not an instant kill. It is possible to survive it. It's very unlikely to survive it, don't get me wrong, but it is possible to survive it.
Yeah, and actually, from here on out, it's gonna look very similar because actually Sukuna is my 3rd as well.
Oh,
and like, yeah, no, because again, like we were talking about the idea, like we have the same top 3, right?
Yep.
But the whole idea of, like you said, like if you watch the Gojo Sukuna fight, which you probably are if you're on this video, you see that there are certain rules that if you're that guy, which is Gojo and Sukuna, they're the only niggas in the verse that can do that. If you're that guy, you can break certain rules, and like we're just assuming like any like. With all the rules basically broken, if you're that powerful, like which would be the best domain expansion to have? And I think if you like you said, if you're looking at it that way, the whole balance thing of the domain expansion, that's like it's cool for Sukuna, but like if other domain expansions have it, they're just more efficient. And the cutting and cleaning is cool. I think like obviously the whole thing they can adjust to other people's like strength is really like that idea is really tough. But I just think the top 2 is just like. It's a hard argue. Like if we're giving like any person this, like if we're giving a random person this, it's hard to argue against these top 2. So Sukuna's just 3rd by default, in my opinion.
It's basically just imagine all of these domains are being used by Sukuna. That is like the easiest way to imagine it, because like all of the domains are made to be used in equal skill level, and Sukuna is currently the most skilled user of a domain we have seen. But we're trying to separate the person from the domain, which is why we're just doing it like this.
Yeah, literally. So that's like hopefully no one gets on you too much about that.
Oh boy, I can already hear the comments coming.
Yeah, it's actually, and this so I guess we can jump. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because I think we can jump into number 2, and I'm trying to like I really want to. Okay, so I think the 2 can be interchangeable, but I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go for number 2. I'm gonna go Mahito. So
I agree.
If you watch, Shibuya and all that stuff, we see like Mahito has this basically, which I gotta go back and look at everything again. But Mahito, just to make it like long story short, he can kind of like one-shot kill you with like what's the actual name of the ability?
Idle Transfiguration.
Idle Transfiguration. Like he basically can just kill you. Like it's a one-shot kill. But he has to touch you. It has to be his real body, because we saw in Shibuya when the clone was fighting Nobara, the clone couldn't kill Nobara. Like he couldn't do it, right? Because it wasn't the real guy. But he was a switcheroo, and he was able to kill her. But his domain expansion is one thing we learned. Domain expansion is like, it's as if your curse energy is all like, everything inside the realm is being touched by it. And we saw with Nanami, that nigga, he was almost a blunt just for being the domain expansion. Like, if you're in his domain expansion, you will die. There's not much to say. Now, the reason I have it number 2 is because, like, it seems like I feel like if you were put in both domain expansions between number 2 and 1, which we obviously know is number 1, but I think there's a smaller window to survive than against the ones, because Nanami, he was in the domain expansion, and then like it was a small, I forgot what arc, this was like season 1. It was like a small gap between him like being the domain expansion and him dying. It wasn't enough time for Yuji to jump in. That's when Sukuna was like, what I tell you about touching me with your idol transfiguration, I'm like kill you. So like it's a super small window. Like most niggas are not surviving that, but we have to count. Like I have to cut corners, I have to nitpick. So like that would be one of the reasons I'd have it at 2. Like I think there's a small gap you can kind of escape, or not escape, but like there's a small gap. But besides that, if you're in the domain expansion, you're going to die. It's just that simple.
I do also want to add in, there are 2 ways to survive Mahito's domain as well, which is either A, having enough cursed energy, which allows you to resist against his curse technique, and yeah, you still have cursed energy to defend yourself in domains. We see that in the Dagon fight. And the more important one is if your soul is strong enough to defend against it. And sure, yes, we're applying, like, basically saying, what if all of these people are being casted by Sukuna? But the problem is, it's still possible to survive against these domains. They're not sure kills, because there are 2 possible people who can potentially survive against these domains, which isn't exactly the case for who's in our number 1 pick, which is Gojo. Because no matter who you are, you're not surviving against the infinite information that goes into your head. 0.2 seconds was all that was needed to stun all of the cursed spirits at once, and just basically say, yeah, no, y'all lose.
Yeah, like, I mean, Gojo, it's fitting, right? Gojo's the GOAT. I'm Team Gojo. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people aren't. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I haven't read chapter 230, so I'm gonna read that, and hopefully he's still eating. But yeah, like, is the best domain expansion in the verse. Like, it's just simple. Like, as powerful as, for instance, like you said, idol transfiguration can kind of be like countered by, you know, if your soul's strong enough, and also if you have enough curse energy and stuff. Like, you can't strengthen up like the information you're taking in your mind. We've never seen that. So it's kind of up, right? So it's untouchable, bro. Like, Gojo's the GOAT, and this is one of the reasons.
There was only one character who can survive the domain and actually be fine, which is Mahoraga, the character that is meant to adapt to anything. And even then, it needs time to adapt to that.
So, I mean, it's like, yeah, in terms of like the domain expansions, now these are like the top 5. We haven't, I mean, I think it's funny because like after the 5/6, right? If you want to throw in Naiwa.
Yeah.
If you like, so besides those 6, like to me, it's a drop off in lethality in terms of like, okay, we have like Gojo, we have Mahito. Then it's like, okay, then we're talking about Dagon. Like these domain expansions are not bad, but it's just a fall from great. Like Megumi, like, oh my gosh. Like,
Megumi's domain, like, I know we were saying if all these domains were casted by Sukuna, but the thing is, we've only really seen Megumi's incomplete domain, so we can't really give it that buff because we don't know what a complete domain from Megumi would look like in theory. So it just doesn't work for him, unlike the others. And Dagon's domain, it's not that good. Like, those fish Shikigami are just appearing on you and are gonna bite you, but you're gonna survive. They're fish Shikigami. You'll be fine. We haven't seen the sure hit of Jogo's domain, nor have we seen the Hanami's domain, so we can't really consider that. Same with Yuta's domain. So, yeah. Like, those people are just eliminated outright. And I do want to stress this point hard, that we are not talking about the domain users, we're talking about as if all of the domains were used by someone with the same skill level as Sukuna.
Yeah, that's like super important. I think that changes the list, right? That's gonna...
Yep.
Mahito probably doesn't even make the list because he's really not hurting anyone post like Shibuya arc. Let's just be honest. Like, always just smacking that away kind of thing. So
I also do want to mention Kenjaku because we forgot about Kenjaku, but I still don't think he'd make the list. Because Kenjaku's sure hit that he has shown to us is just anti-gravity, which is slamming people into the ground. I don't think that's good as a sure hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, like, these 5/6 sure hits are literally like, well, for the top 3, it's like you're gonna die, right? And then the bottom 3 is like you're probably gonna die. Like it's like OC.
It's either you're probably going to die, or you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Literally.
Yep.
There's like Yuruzo, which I don't even know what hers is.
Oh yeah, right. Yorozu, like, I mean, she has an infinite pressure sure hit, but at the same time, we haven't seen too much of her domain to actually know. So I think that's a good also honorable mention because we forgot about Yorozu.
Yeah. People I think they're big Yuruzo fans.
Yeah. Like it's one-shot most people, but you.
Yeah, it'll one-shot most people. I'm trying to make sure we don't miss anyone. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much all the main expenses of people that matter. Or,
yep.
No, it's pretty much all of them.
So
yeah,
thanks for coming on, man.
Anytime, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're actually gonna be. I'm gonna be having my. We're gonna walk into rank the basically the top 5 curse techniques.
Yep, yeah. We're gonna be ranking the curse techniques on his channel, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.